Hello everyone, George here, and I am back again working on Five Nights at Freddy's implementation. And if you remember from the last video, we have, at least the last two videos, we've actually gone through and completely changed our layout. The idea now is we're going to create a free roaming type version of this game because I'm working in VR as opposed to just hanging out inside the security room. Since I'm doing something completely new and it's completely untested, I need to do some stuff first in my process, my game development process, to make sure I haven't made a giant mistake. And really what that is first contemplate what I'm trying to do, and then try to figure out, all right, what are the objectives? And then past that, how am I going to test that this is fun and interesting and that the objectives work? So I took a few minutes and kind of jotted down some notes. First of all, I thought, okay, with a free roaming game, what kinds of things could I actually do? What are the goals that you're going to have at each level? Things like finding a missing child, performing maintenance at night, trying to go to the bathroom might be like the first challenge you have in the game. Repairing malfunctioning animatronics. So maybe something got destroyed, you have to get all the way to a certain location and fix it, and then it might come active and now you have to try to get back while this thing's chasing you. Collecting money from the different arcade machines or cleaning up the party area while all these other animatronics are about doing their business, which could all create different kinds of challenges and might be interesting for a game. But overall, the main thing here is if you look at all of those and get a sense of what's going on, it's all about going to a location or multiple locations, performing some action, and then returning to the security room after that. Now, returning to the security room might not be the final goal in some cases, but that's pretty much it. Go somewhere, get there, and then move to somewhere else, or you have achieved your goal. Is really mainly it's about movement and getting around to different places. So what do we need to start making this actually work? The first thing is we need body movement with controller. We already have this in our game. I can rip that from what we've already created so that the Vive controller actually moves us around. Next up, we need collision detection to prevent body movement. So that means I need the walls to stop us from moving through them. Now, I probably also want to implement some form of working door right here at the beginning so that as you move from area to area, there's more suspense. That is, you're going to be pushing the door open. Who knows what's on the other side of that? And it's also another way for us to kind of cut the levels into different pieces so that we can use things like occlusion culling and other techniques. And then finally, we're going to need animatronics to actually move through the level via some form of a nav mesh with other systems involved as well, probably to make them smart and also to make the game more fun. Now, while I was coming up with these different ideas, some other constraints came into my mind, and I just kind of wrote them down here. One thing was maybe the character has stamina. So in the original game, the original Five Nights at Freddy's game, you have, battery life or power level or whatever you want to call it, and by using the doors or the lights, you drain that. And heck, just by having existing, you drained the battery, so to speak. So in this particular case, maybe having a stamina bar or something comparable to it might be interesting, where you can use your stamina to run, to move quickly, or maybe you can use your stamina to hold back a door in case you start to open it and there's an animatronic on the other side. You can try to wrestle with the thing and hold the thing shut, which will drain your stamina very quickly. And then you can try to run away when it's shut. Different ideas for how you can handle it and maybe create some different moments of suspense as well. All right, so those are kind of the overall things I've just thought about and sort of thrown here into a document. Now, we got to start from the very beginning. And that is pretty much taking this mesh and bringing it over into Unity and then starting to work with it. So stuff that we need is that we need the body movement with controller. We need collision detection. Now, the fact that it says collision detection means I'm going to need to either split this mesh up into different parts, or I need to use the mesh as is, as collision detection. So both of those are a concern. The next thing we need is working doors. So I don't have a working door right now, so I might as well just go ahead and do that. So let's create a cube really fast, hit F on the keyboard, and this is going to be a very simplistic door. I am going to have the doors either, they're going to be double hinged, if we want to call it that, kind of like how a person might be double hinged or double jointed. They'll always move away from you. That way I don't need to worry about the door hitting the player on the face so much. The they're going to open outwards, which means as they open up, I can do some fun things with possibly with animatronics where they might grab the door and you just see their hands on the other side, and then you've got to kind of wrestle with them on the door. But anyway, let's go ahead and change the scale on this thing. I'm going to scale it down to something thin. Let's see, what is that? 0.074. Let's do 0.01. That's way too thin. 0.05. What about that? No, let's make it 0.1. What about that? Yeah, 0.1. Let's do that. I am going to insert an edge loop. Let's see. I kind of want this to be in the center of a door. All of the frames have the same size because I'm using my grid to do that, which means if I'm smart about how I do this, I can, well, you'll see in a second. So I'm going to go to Shift right click. I'm going to go to multi-cut tool. I'm going to do, hold down the Shift key, and you know what? It's too small. I'm not going to be able to center it. So instead, I'm going to go to Insert Edge Loop tool. Let's see what the tool actually wants me to do. So I currently have it to do one loop. I'm going to do one loop on the inside. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to grab my door now. Oops, F8 twice, 3 times this time. I'm going to move this up, and now I'm going to change my dimensions to match. So I'm going to move the top, hold down the V key up there. I'm going to grab the bottom, constrain in the Y direction, move that down to the bottom here. I am going to grab the front, actually in the back are fine. I don't need to mess with them. They're set to a certain size. And I'm going to grab the side over here and move that over there. Now what I am going to do is going to go to Modify, check out my freeze transforms, rotate and scale. I'm going to hit Apply on. So now this thing has scale dimensions of 1. So I'm not dealing with that 0.1 BS that I just had, pretty much. Now I'm going to hit spacebar, go to Modify, and center the pivot on this object. I'm going to hit W, D, hold down the D key so I'm modifying the pivot point, and then click the top of that, and then hold down the V key at the same time, and middle mouse click to the bottom. A complex combination of buttons, but that's also why Maya is awesome, because you can do stuff like that. But anyway, so I've got my door. Now what I want to do is center this up on that line. So I'm going to hit the V key. I'm going to hit the middle mouse key right there on that center point, and I can see it snaps right to that area right there. Now what I need is my pivot point at the moment needs to be off to the side. So let's do W, D, and V to the side over there. Perfect. Now my grid, I need to change my grid settings so I can move this door everywhere that I need it to be. So let's go to grid. And I need it to be 1 subdivision higher. So I believe I need that to be 6 now. So I'll hit apply. Yes, I now have an additional division between each division. So I can, let's see, let's name this thing door. Save it. So right now the doors are going to be opening up. Let's see, on this one, it's opening from that side. So I might want to change that. So D. I mean, with a double hinge door, it's going to open up from the wrong side depending upon which way you approach it. So, it just depends. So for right now, let's just duplicate the door and move it about to where it belongs, which is the center point in these areas. There we are. And Control D, move this over. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to figure all this stuff out, such as maybe the door should open from the opposite side when you hit it instead of being about the pivot point. So all stuff that we got to figure out later on in the game. For right now, we're just making doors, so let's keep making them. It's not impossible to solve these problems. It just requires a little bit more thought than I'm giving it at the moment. Let's see, X, going to be somewhere there. We're going to grab this door and this door, Control D both of them, and X them into place somewhere there. And you are at a different location, so you need to come somewhere there. We need another door, and the doors should, at the end of the day, be named based on what location they're in. But once again, these are not the final doors. These are just placeholder doors, so I'm not really concerned with that at the moment. What we need to do is test our gameplay, is see whether or not all these changes I've made are actually interesting. Now, check this out. I made a giant screw up. The doors here are not the right size, so I need to actually resize these things. So let's go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to do there. I'm going to duplicate the door again and move it to the other side over here. Yeah. And we're going to move these verts in. Excuse me, the whole line of verts. I don't know if I can select that by edge because it's on a corner. I'm going to move that there. I'm going to come in here, right-click vertex mode, grab all of these guys, all these verts, and move them in. Right about there. Now the doors aren't quite perfect, so let's fix that real quick. And move them inwards. There we go. Save. So we're getting there. We got some doors. Next door, let's do this one up here. F to frame up. Double check it's in the right place. We're good there. And it looks like all the temporary doors, the normal doors, are in place, so we're good to go. All right, save. Now we got all these doors here that are just floating around. We also have all these poly surfaces, which really hurt. We're going to need to subdivide this entire mesh into individual zones. I kind of did that already with the bathrooms, which is good, but not with these areas here. And that's going to be something we need to do eventually. We're going to bring this thing into Unity as it is without subdividing the areas and see how Unity copes with it. If it doesn't do a good job, I'll have to come back into Maya and cut stuff up manually, but I'm assuming Unity's going to do an okay job and we don't need to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and delete all by type history so I don't have any history. That's a cat, by the way, running behind me. And we are going to grab everything in the scene at the moment. Let's see. Here we go. Hit Control G and call this world, or whatever you want to call it. Environment, layout, something. I'm just going to call it world for the moment. I'm going to go to select the world. I'm going to go to File and let's go to. Do I need to set the Unity project? That's the question. Set Unity project. Nope, we're good. File, send to Unity selection, and it brought me to the completely wrong project. So that's not what I want. So let's go to File, send to Unity, set Unity project. I'm going to select FNAF. Yep, select. I'm going to go to File, send to Unity, selection, and now I'm in the correct place. Yes, assets. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this test_ free roam layout. Okay. And just checking my import or export settings because I've done a lot of weird projects between here and now. We don't need to embed any media. I'm going to hit open and test free roam _01. Okay, there we are. It went ahead and did its thing. So let's go into Unity and check it out. And there we go. All right, so we've got this. We'll hit, no, wrong project. Oh, crap. Sorry, everyone, you're about to see a different project that I'm working on. Or maybe you're not, because it's on a different screen. Anyway, sorry, this is a different project for work, not what I want to show. So let's go to Open Project and A Night at Georgie's. Oh boy, and we got all kinds of crap in our scene, don't we? It's always kind of, what's the word? Humbling to look at what you've done so far and then to realize you're going to create a new scene and kind of trash all the work you did. And I've been working on this for a while. I've also been getting a lot better through other projects that I've been doing. So I'm worried that when I delete this stuff, I'm going to look back at my code. I'm going to look back at how I structured things. I'm going to say, wow, I was an idiot. That's life, right? That's how things are. So we might as well do it and not worry about the repercussions. So I'm going to hit new scene, and we're going to come over here and see whether or not, this is way too big. We're going to see about bringing this in. So let's see. Do we have our, where is it? Tests, is it under test? No. Where did I save this? Hold on, let's go to Maya and find out. So select that, file, send to Unity, selection. I'm in FNAF Maya assets right now, and there's the problem. That's where it's at. We need to move this into our Unity directory. So I'm gonna go and do that right now. So let's go to YouTube and FNAF, reproduce it. And what we want to do is go under the Maya directory. All right, so here's the folder that's giving me a problem. Assets, we want to grab test free roam layout. I'm going to cut that out. We're going to go back to Unity now, and that's going to be in Night at Georgie's, assets. I'm going to paste that right in here. Test free roam FBX is right there. Open Unity back up. Give it a few moments to handle loading that in, and we should be good to go. Come on, Unity. There we go. Now let's check it out. We got test free roam layout. We can grab this, bring it into our hierarchy. Take a look. Now, what I always like to do is when I bring in an object, scale, it's impossible to tell the scale of anything. So what we do is we go to game object, we go to 3D object and cube, and you bring in a cube. And a cube is 1 meter by 1 meter. So if that makes sense in your world, then you don't need to rescale anything. And for an arcade box, that's pretty close. So I'm going to say our scale is correct in this particular case, and there's nothing we need to actually change. Okay, great. So we've got our stuff inside of Unity. I'm going to go to test free roam test layout. I'm going to save this as a new scene. Test free roam layout. Keep the name the same just to make stuff work together. That way, when you're searching for stuff 5 months from now, you won't have to worry about where it is. We do have some issues here with the textures, and that's because I didn't embed the textures. Unity has actually changed since the last versions, and what I've noticed is if you go to the file under materials, for one, you have to extract the materials. They're still embedded within the document. And then if you decide to embed the textures in the FBX, you have to extract the textures as well. Otherwise, you need to bring them in manually. I'm not going to sweat over this kind of stuff for the moment, just because we are literally doing a gameplay test with what's going on right now, nothing else. So just let it be. That being said, we need to grab our player prefab, bring them in here so that we can actually move around inside of VR. So is that seriously the size of a door inside of VR? Where's my camera? That's my camera. They look way too narrow and way too tall, don't they to you? I might need to make the doors lower. They look way too narrow. If we bring in a cube, really quick, take a look at that. That's our metric. And bring it into what? That's the location we're at right now? No? Where are we? There it is. So that's our cube. So there's our meter. Slightly larger than a meter. Yeah, the doors are way too big. See that? That's 2 meters. That's a 6 foot tall person right there. That's 3 meters. Now we're allowing NBA players to easily access our doors without any issue. So, the doors are too tall, which means we got to go back into Maya and fix that mistake. delete, save, and go back to Maya. Once again, something I didn't know. And this is why we are testing stuff before we make stuff, because you don't know this kind of stuff until later. That being said, let's just grab a room, shift right click. No, first let's go to window, mesh. Let's see, I want to deal with the grid. So display grid, and I want to turn the grid back to the way it was. Instead of 6, 3. Apply, close, there we are. So now the grid is on a level that makes more sense, for me at least. Frame up. I'm going to lower the door height by probably 2 increments at least. Because 3 increments, that's a meter. That's 2 meters. That's 3 meters. Yeah, way too big. Doors need to be brought down. Okay, so what's the best way for me to do this? You know what? All doors are on the same level. I wonder if we go here, zoom out a little bit, right click and go to vertex mode, and grab everything just barely above that, hit the W key, and move down. We'll have our doors at roughly an appropriate length. And I think that'll do it, except for areas like these two little hamsters who aren't working with us at the moment. Let's go to this and edge mode on that, but I really want to concentrate on this. So I want to grab, Louise. We do this. Where is it? It's right here. Let's grab these edges, ungrab those, X them down a little bit. And we're good. Why didn't grab that? Wait, what? Oh, hide. We need this one too. It's separate. So we're doing that line right there. Grab this one. Go to edge mode. Oh, come on. Give me something. Vertex mode. There we go. Display show all. There we go. Now we've got doors at an appropriate size, except for the tops of them, because all the doors now are way too big. So we're going to do a stupid trick that's going to cause our naming scheme to go bonkers, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm going to combine all the doors into one object. There they are. Combine. Who cares, right? And we are going to go into the doors. Can I see anything from here? Let's go to shading X-ray. There we go. I'd like to go into vertex mode. They're all the same object now, right? Vertex mode, please. And there's the door height right there. I'm going to grab everyone's top, and we are going to move them down to the new height of doors. Now we're going to do something that causes all their names to get completely screwed up. And we're going to hit the detach component, or detach, separate, mesh, whatever you want to call it. What is it actually called? It is called extract. We extracted them all, and now they have really crappy names. I need to go to edit, delete all by type history. And you'll see we got all these extra transforms everywhere now, which is wonderful. I want to grab all those extra transforms, edit and ungroup. Because one of them doesn't have a group. Now I'm also unpopular, so let's do that again. Edit, ungroup. There we go. We got transform nodes all over the place. Edit, delete all by type history. Transform nodes go away. Instead, we should just have these crappy door names, polysurface 21 to 14. It looks like I have all the doors selected at the moment. I'm going to go up here and hit door underscore 01. Whoops, we don't want caps lock on. Door underscore 01 or 0. How about just underscore? There we go. And we got 2 doors we missed, so I'm going to grab them all again. Door underscore 0. It started at 10. No, it didn't. That's the last one. Okay, we're good. So now we have our doors set up properly. I can grab the world, save, file, send to Unity, selection, and we're in the wrong place. We're in Maya still. We need to be in our FNAF location. You know, screw this. File, send Unity, select Unity project. I need to go up to a Night at Georgie's, select, file, send, selection, and test 1. Yes, please. Save, go back here. And there we go. Now our doors actually make sense. I'm going to clear out the console. That doesn't matter at the moment. And we've got stuff that works for us. Perfect. All right, everyone. This video is getting a little long. I'm at the 30-minute mark. We will come back and start implementing some of the agenda that I've put together here. So we've already gone ahead and moved in all of our assets and made sure that things looked right in terms of scale and dimension. Next up, we're going to probably grab our body movement controller. We're going to do collision detection as well, check to see that all works, and we'll probably script out our doors very soon after that. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. So long and goodbye.